Welcome to another exciting episode of Loud Thoughts on TSL Nigeria TV. Now, how Loud Thoughts plays, it's really easy. All you have to do is go down after watching this video, and drop a question that you'd like for us to answer, and we are going to try our very possible best to answer it with all seriousness, except it's funny, and then we would laugh. Anyways, Adrian has us covered for our question for today.
Yeah, it's a pretty long one. All right, so if a woman was chased out of her marriage due to the fact that she couldn't give birth and her husband begs her to come back because he feels he made a mistake of letting her go in the first place, should she consider it? Now, this question was by Blessing Adodo. She's like one of our favorites, you know.
I love her. She's amazing.
She keeps dropping questions. So, yes, Joyce, should she consider going back to her husband who chased her out of the house in the first place because, you know, she couldn't give birth? Now he's saying, I'm sorry, I want you back.
I mean, but like, I need more details. Did he find out that he has low sperm counts? Because what kind of mistake is that? Maybe he has gone for a medical checkup and found out that he was the problem, and now he wants to bring her in to cover his own shame. Okay. I absolutely do not believe that she should go back, because when people find out that they can do things to you and get away with it, it becomes a norm. So what is the mistake? Does she have children now? Is she now pregnant? Where is the mistake? I don't buy it, no.
Sometimes people change, you know.
Okay.
Yeah, sometimes. I don't know the intricacies now. I don't know what could have happened between those two people, but sometimes it could be, you know, peer pressure, even though I don't believe that so much peer pressure can do if you don't have the capacity to even do it in the first place, you know. But I think people can change. Maybe she can observe the man for a while, not necessarily going back to the house, but she can observe the man from a while at arm's length. You know, if they have to talk to a professional or talk to someone who understands both of them better, then that's an option. But to say she shouldn't go back outrightly would be misleading, because I think whatever must have happened between them, you know, we don't know. You know, we can only judge from what the question, you know, is and stuff like that. So I think they can work it out if it's something they really can work out. Then if it's not, of course,
do not think it should be worked out.
Well, what do you think? First of all, I feel like, you know, it's a marriage and it's quite sensitive. That's one. Two, I don't know. I feel like, you know, whatever was his reasons for in the first place saying leave the house, you know, and if it, because she couldn't give birth, if now the solution for giving birth hasn't been solved, that means that issue that she's not good enough is going to keep coming back. Now, if a man would send you out for a reason as serious as this is something couples should come together and deal with together and find a way forward. If he wasn't thinking that way before, I'm wondering whether if he's willing to now do that, find out what can be done, go through therapy, speak, and you guys can come to a very good understanding. I would say don't go back to the marriage first. Deal with the issue while you're out there and see what are his steps. What steps does he want to take now to make the marriage better while you are out there, so that you don't go back into the marriage and then you now find out that, you know, they're back to square one. He tells you to leave again for whatsoever reasons.
I'm just saying, being thrown out of the house is a thing that you don't just. It's not a casual decision.
Yes.
You don't decide to throw a person out of your house very casually. People have issues. I mean, people are more than willing to be in domestically abusive marriages before they will even throw out the spouse. Do you understand? It is almost like the lender of the last resort.
Yeah.
So if you guys build up to problems to the point that he was confident he was going to throw you out, and if the reasons are bordering on childbirth, then you're not even in a safe marriage. Because I believe that a marriage is a partnership, and if you cannot see your partner as something beyond a baby-making machine, then we have a fundamental problem. There are a lot of marriages that have lasted time and there were no children. There are so many options for you to have children. That's why I keep telling people that a lot of people do not get married because they're in love with their spouse. They get married because that is the time for them to get married. Okay, I've been in the streets for a while now. I'm 32. I should get married. Do you understand? Oh, I've gotten a job now. I've gotten a couple of millions in my account. Time don't reach to marry. And when you're saying time don't reach to marry, it's probably you're thinking time don't reach to get children. children. So when you're throwing a woman out of your house because she couldn't give you children, it's because you married her for children,
but
not because you were in love with that woman. Because
that
if you were in love with that woman and you valued her beyond being a baby making factory, there's so much that you should be able to get from your partner. There's companionship, there's wisdom, there's advice. That person is supposed to be your ride or die, the person that you have decided to do life with. So if something as small as a child is going to come between you with the kind of technology we have right now, there's IVF, there's surrogates, there's adoption. There's so many ways for you to get children. So if a person is willing to throw you out into the cold because you could not produce children that could have been his fault, that is not a person that you want to be with.
That's a lot, Joyce.
I was really
too personal. It
was very emotional for me.
But whatever the case is, it's a marital issue. It's very, very sensitive.
Yeah,
so I think if there's a way they can really work things out, maybe by talking to a therapist or something.
Yeah, and I think they should bring.
Okay
this is
for
the
them
point
to give
where
it a shot.
he actually embarrassed the girl, not just the girl, her family, because we are in a society where stigma. It's easy to be stigmatized in the society. So he has to really come to terms, and because he's not just apologizing to her now, he has to talk to the entire family.
Exactly.
And if you're dealing with people who can stand by their daughter, they're going to ask you, please, are you going to throw out our daughter again and put her out there? Because, married, it's easy for us to say, hey, let them make it up and all that. But, in this society, if a woman is chased out of her house, she's blamed for it. Every time.
She cannot keep a home.
Yes.
The
women are generally victimized.
Do you understand? So that's why I'm saying it's very sensitive.
And I apologize on behalf of all the men.
It's not accepted.
But anyway,
we're going to have to round up.
So,
I was going to say something, but I absolutely, completely, totally forgot.
Anyway.
So I'm going to just move on. But it reminded me of a series that I saw, Rumor Has It. And she couldn't have children, and her husband cheated on her with a random woman, and the woman got pregnant, and he threw her out of her house that she bought for them.
Oh my God.
And her parents came, apologized, they begged, let's work it out, let's do this, let's do that. I can never have a barren woman. Lo and behold, it was the useless man that had low sperm count, because the pregnancy was for somebody else, the one that he was claiming. But I feel like we should move to a place where marriage has to be demystified. I mean, people, when it comes to marriage, no matter how much the abuse is, people say, it's marriage, it's a sensitive issue. It's a piece of paper. I feel like marriage at some point should be demystified for people to be aware that you are more than marriage. You're a person that is existing. There are some things that you should not be able to withstand just because. Because if it was just any other relationship, you would walk away. But just because it's been a marriage, people have come and signed documents. Now your life has to be shut down. People need to demystify the fact that you can be a person after a marriage that hasn't failed, okay? That have failed. Your marriage failed, you did not fail. You're still a person, you're still an entity. There's still so much that you can do. I think that it should be demystified to a certain level. Be enough in yourself. And, my TED Talk will be coming up very soon for us to have this conversation. Anyways, we would like to get more questions from you and your thoughts on today's episode of Loud Thoughts. So please drop your comments. Let us know how you feel and ask us a question. And we are going to try to be unbiased umpires as we answer. Have yourself a lovely day. Bye-bye.
Stay connected to TSL Nigeria and get updates on the go all day, every day. Subscribe to our YouTube channel on TSL Nigeria Space TV and join our online family.